Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Zazie Creations. My name is Keisha, and on this channel I am sharing with you all there is to my sewing journey. I hope that wherever you are on your sewing journey that you're having as much fun as I am, and I hope that you have connected with a community of people that are enjoying sewing just as much as you do. You're learning what you need to learn, and that you're just prospering and learning, new things, and just getting all the joy and fulfillment that you hope to get out of this journey. So this video, I'm really excited about it because it is my very first commercial pattern make. Yes, I finally did it. I purchased so many patterns just with me being excited about sewing, and I had not opened up one pattern to try to sew anything until recently. I had been sewing for it's been over a year now, maybe 2 years now. I started sewing over the pandemic, so what, 2 years, 2.5 years or so. I am still considered a beginner sewist because I have a lot to learn, and again, I just started working on a commercial pattern like last week. So I am going to share that review with you, all the ins and outs of my pattern make, some things I've learned, and some challenges I've met along the way, which I'm sure many of you have also encountered. So I do have my notes here. I'm going to try to stick to my notes so I don't make this video long-winded. So first things first, let me grab the pattern piece. 1 second. I said pattern piece, I meant the pattern envelope. So I sewed McCall's M7405. M7405. It is described as a Mrs. Dress and Belt with 4 different variations, meaning there are 4 different ways you can make this dress. You can do away with some of the details or not. And I chose view A for this dress, which is the view here. You see it has a stitched hem. The other views on the dress are a little longer in length. One has more of a, I don't know what you would call that hemline, asymmetrical, but it's a different kind of hemline. But I chose the simple version, which is version A, right here. This pattern, it only had 5 pieces. So the envelope itself says 5 pieces is in this pattern. On the back, it shows you 5 pieces, but my particular piece, I only used 4. There was a front piece that has to be cut on the fold, 2 back panels that you will sew together, and a drawstring. That's it. So if any of you follow Creativity by T and Rochelle at Handmade Designs, they have a whole series they did recently on sewing 5 and below, where they share with you all these types of patterns that you can sew that are 5 pattern pieces or less. It's a really great series for beginner sewists because there aren't a lot of pieces that you need to assemble. Some of the patterns they share were like 1 piece, 2 pieces even. So this definitely qualifies for this Sewing 5 and Below series, and it's by McCall's. Again, it is M7405. So the fabric suggestions for this pattern were medium weight woven, your knit fabrics such as challis, cotton knit, crepe, or gauze. I chose gauze because the gauze fabric is very lightweight, it's very breathable, and I got it from Joann Fabric, and I got a salmon color, and I'll show you that now. This was the salmon color. Really pretty, summery salmon color. Got this from Joann Fabric. I forget how much it cost, but gauze, I think this is what you call double gauze. So it's not really thin. It has a little bit of thickness to it, so you don't really see through it. But I forget how much this was at Joann, but I got it quite a while ago, a couple months ago actually. But you can find gauze at most of your fabric stores. So the skills I learned when I did this, this construction or this make, I learned how to place a drawstring, how to create the drawstring and place it in the neckline here. I learned how to do a stitched hem, which was a bonus. I've done plenty of hems before, but they call this a stitched hem for some reason. I don't know why it's called stitched hem, but it's just a regular hem on the bottom of the dress. And I also learned how to install a dart on my dress. So that was not something that McCall's said you would learn to do in this make. However, I had a couple of issues with some of the construction. I'll tell you about that a little later. But in that, I had to create a dart on the side of my dress around the bust area. And then one tip I learned was I can use tape to distinguish between my right side and wrong side of my fabric. So many fabrics that you purchase, you can't really tell the distinction between the right side and the wrong side. And what I did was I used tape, because on this fabric, with most gauze, there really is no right or wrong side. So for me to construct this and not inadvertently sew the wrong sides together, I put a little piece of Scotch tape along here, so I would know that the wrong side was my side to mark up and to do my stitching, my basting stitches and things like that. So that was a tip that I learned while I did this make. So what did I do to prepare for this? So I went ahead, I gathered all my supplies, my basic notions, your fabric, your thread, your fabric scissors, your pins, seam gauge, a seam ripper, ruler, marking tool, your machine needles, and definitely a safety pin so I can do the drawstring and the casing for the neckline. I actually needed a couple other items that were not part of the these supplies. So I used tracing paper, markers, and a quick turn. The tracing paper and markers were basically so I can trace my pattern before I went ahead and started to cut my fabric and do my construction. I also did some research on the pattern itself. So I visited www.patternreview.com, and on there I was able to search the pattern and look for comments and feedback and suggestions from other people that have sewn this before, just so I can kind of see what's trending and what has trended or what is trending with the actual make itself. That would give me some heads up on things I might find problematic or things I may need to do a little bit more research on before I jump right into making the sew. I also did a hashtag M7405, and I also did another hashtag, Alana McCall's, both on Instagram. So for some of the patterns that McCall does, I think they may do it for all their patterns, they put like a name for the pattern on the bottom. But if you do like a basic search on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that, and you do this or search the pattern number, you should find a lot of different videos and pictures and just comments and feedback on whatever you're trying to make. It gives you just an what does it help? It helps you just kind of get a general idea about what others have done and things that others may have had, problems with and things like that. So I did a search that way, and I also did a similar search on YouTube. So I searched the pattern number and the pattern Alana McCall's, and I found, I remembered I watched a video some time ago by Talisha of Creativity by T. I saw her video when she did a quick review on making this herself. And I also found a really good sew along by Lindsay of Lindsay with @inside the hem with a tongue twister. But yes, Lindsay, she hosts a really good sew along. It's about a 9-week, but she takes you through different phases of making this outfit, making this dress here. And she also did view A. So I really followed along her tutorial, and I was able to get this done. Her tutorial was really straightforward, really easy to understand. very thorough, just really, really great. She has lots of other tutorials on her YouTube page that you might want to go check out. So definitely, you know, look her up and consider giving her a follow and a like if you want to learn more about making some things, but need like a sew along to go along with it. So I did follow her sew along. And then I did a lot of measuring. In her video, in Lindsay's video, she goes and walks you through how to figure out the ease for your pattern and your garment. So she helps you figure out how much ease you have in your pattern, how much ease you have, and then somehow there's a difference between the two that help you get you to the most accurate measurement for your make. So that was really helpful. For this particular dress, I measured my upper bust, I measured my bust, my hip definitely, and I did the base of my neck to the length of my dress. And the base of my neck is basically, or the base of your neck would basically be wherever your necklace might stop. So it stops here, I measure from here down to whatever I wanted my length to be for my particular dress. And then I did my pattern tracing. So I told you guys that, you know, this was my very first construction using a commercial pattern, but I was a little nervous about, you know, cutting right into my fabric using the pattern piece. So I did trace my pattern on tracing paper, and that way if I had issues, it was more complicated, I still had my original pattern preserved and I can go back and retry. Honestly, I don't know how often I will be pattern tracing because it was really time consuming. Now, making this dress was not time consuming at all. It was really, really easy, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the process of tracing the pattern, and you know, that took a lot more time than what I really think I want to put into this. I might do it a few more times depending on what I'm making, but I do see the value in tracing your pattern because you always preserve your original pattern. Now, granted, these patterns don't cost a lot. I mean, you can go get them on sale for $1.99, 99 cents, $3.99, maybe even $5.99 for some of the big fours. But, you know, it's still money that you have to put out there. So I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air about whether or not I should continue to do the pattern tracing or just jump right in and just trace the patterns. I think it just all depends on what I'm making and my fabric choice also, because I don't want to waste expensive fabric, right? It costs money, and I'm just not in a place where I want to waste money buying fabric and messing it up. So I will likely go ahead and trace sometimes, but I don't know. I'm just all over the place when it comes to tracing, so we'll see. You all will know what I decide to do. So there were some challenges. I would not be transparent to say that I didn't have challenges. I had challenges. It's my first commercial print, my first commercial pattern. I did have some challenges with it. The first challenge was the actual layout. So in this pattern envelope, if you look at the instructions, there's an instruction in here that shows you the pattern pieces or the fabric lying on, the pattern piece lying on the fabric. And it gives an appearance that the panel piece 2, which is the back panel, should be on the fold, but there's nowhere in the instructions where it shows you that it's not on a fold. So basically, the two back pieces were two separate pieces that had to be sewn together, and those were the instructions in the packet, in the envelope. But when you look at the layout for the fabric on your we look at the layout for the pattern piece on the fabric, it looks like everything is on the fold. So that was one thing I noticed that wasn't quite accurate, and maybe it was just me understanding or not understanding exactly what the layout looked like, but it did give the appearance that it should be on the fold when it's really not on the fold. My neckline, when I did the neckline, so you see how this is curved? There's a technique I learned in the Sew It Academy to create it so that your neckline will lie flat. And I did not use that technique. And for some reason, when I put this together initially, my neckline, it wasn't flat here. It was like bunching up a little bit. And I think that may have been on purpose to give me this gathered ruching look at the top, perhaps. But it didn't lay flat. So I had to work a little harder to get this to lay flat, especially when I started to do my sewing of the casing on the ends here. But eventually it did lay flat. So that was one thing I noticed. And then the drawstring. So whenever I had been using elastic and inserting it into a casing, I used a couple of things. I've used safety pins, I've used a quick turn, and that's pretty much it. And I never had issues with any of those notions, those techniques. But for this particular make, I had a lot of issues trying to get that drawstring to turn itself inside out. And I think it's because it was a gauze fabric. So what happened was when I tried to pull it through, it kept getting stuck. Like that safety pin did not want to pull that fabric through. And I guess because cotton and it was so narrow, the spacing was narrow, it just made it really difficult to pull it through. I tried a different safety pin size. I tried my quick turn. Not my quick turn, I'm sorry. I tried my my loop turner. That didn't work. So I had to go to good old YouTube to figure out some technique to get this drawstring to turn itself inside out. Honestly, I was getting really frustrated. I was starting to feel like I could not come this far and have this not work out to my good. So I put it down, went to YouTube, and I found out that I could purchase a quick turn. So the quick turn is, some of you who have been sewing for a while or do things like scrunchies and things like that probably know all about the quick turn. But a quick turn is simply a tubing. It's a tubing that you can purchase, and what you do is you will stuff your fabric here, and you take this stick and you just push it in the tube. You push it in, and that creates a loop, or it pulls it through, and you're able to pull your fabric through this tubing. So then what your tubing that was once inside out is now right side, right? So hope that makes sense. But there's a video on YouTube that shows you how to use the quick turn. It was really easy. So I did get one off of YouTube, and this came in a size of 3. So depending on the size of my tubing, I can select the appropriate width for the quick turn. So that worked out good. So I put it down for a day, ordered the quick turn, came the next day. I was able to go back and finish making out my dress. And then what else I want to share? Yeah, so the other challenge that I really don't feel like it's a challenge for me personally, and I'll tell you why. It was the gapping on the armhole. So in my research, I saw where a lot of other people, a lot of other women or folks that have been sewing, sewed this exact dress, and they had a lot of issues with the armhole. So the armhole on here was way too big. It was way too big. I'm not sure if you can actually see this properly, but it was sticking out a lot on the front. So much so, I really knew I had to do something to fix it. There was no way I could even try to wear this and not have that armhole not gapping. So the people that had sewn this, they either had one or two issues. It was too tight around the bust area, or the armhole was too big. It was too low or too big. So I was one of the latter. Mine was really too big. And it wasn't a fit issue because, like I said, when I did my pattern pieces, the fit was fine in the hips. Every area fit on this dress for me except for the armhole. And I don't feel bad because there were other people that had been sewing way longer than me, right? They also had the very same issue with the armhole. So that made me feel really good. That made me feel like, okay, I'm doing good. I'm coming up a little bit, you know? So one thing I think I heard Lindsay say in her video, or she may have even put in the YouTube comments, was that when you do this dress, make sure that you pull your neckline completely up. So that it's like this, I guess. Well, not that far up, but you don't want to choke yourself, but kind of have right your collarbone. And then that was supposed to be able to pull this up some, that your bra strap wouldn't be showing. I did that, and I still have a little bit of my bra strap showing, even with me putting the dart on the side to help with that armhole gapping. So it's not so bad that I can't wear the dress. I'm telling you guys, I'm wearing my dress. It's my first commercial pattern. I'm wearing my dress. I mean, if I have to wear like a little denim sleeveless vest or something over top of it, I will, but I don't think I even have to do that because it's really not that bad. So, but we'll see. But yeah, so that was the only issue I had in terms of the armhole, the challenges I had with this dress. Some other techniques that I did along the way as I made this dress was I did a basting stitch. I did a basting stitch for the armhole, the dart around the armhole, because I wasn't sure in terms of how to fit that, how to measure it. A lot of the videos I found, or tutorials I found on creating a dart, talked about creating a dart on a pattern piece itself, not so much as, you know, making a dart as a part of an alteration. So I had to do a lot of trying on, taking off until I got a near the perfect fit for the dart. And that's why I'm really thinking about investing in a dress form. I think a dress form is really going to help me, because even if it's not a hem, something like trying to, you know, put a dart on a dress that you're actually wearing, trying to do a dart construction while you're wearing a dress, it's a little difficult, but I think a dress form will help with that. So I might have to invest in getting a dress form in the very near future as I continue to do all of my garment constructions and my garment makes. So I did a basting stitch for the armhole dart, and I also did a basting stitch when I put the panel pieces together for the back. Because I wasn't sure about the fit, right? This is all new to me. I went ahead and I did a basting stitch just along those two back panel pieces. That way I could take it out if it was too snug, or you know, readjust it as needed and accordingly. The good thing is, when I did the basting stitch the first time, I did not have to go back and do another basting stitch for the side panels. It was pretty straightforward with no issues there. So that worked out fine. So yeah, that was all of what I did in this make. I am very, very happy with it. Yeah, I have so many things I need to be like wearing and trying on and showing you guys. I just haven't gotten to a place where I'm actually like wearing my stuff. I'm making things. I'm making skirts, and I've done some shirt for my girls. I've done lots of skirts, and now this dress, and I haven't worn anything yet. So I'm trying to get myself to a place where I can actually wear my stuff and you know, show you all some pictures and some videos. I am going away in another few weeks, my husband and I do plan to wear and take all the things I've made over the summer, my shirts and my skirts, and I promise you all that I will definitely get something up and going so you all can see what I've done so far this summer, see my makes, and just, you know, have you all come along with me and give me some feedback and all the things that you guys do that make this journey really, really fun. So yeah, this is it here. That is the front of the dress. That's the front of the dress. This is the back of the dress. Right, that's the back with the little keyhole in the back. And the length of my dress, this dress actually comes down to right below my knee somewhat. So I don't like a lot of short dresses. So I just kind of extended it beyond what the pattern piece called for. And it turned out to be really, really nice. I do like it. So thank you all. If you have any feedback or suggestions or comments on this pattern, if you've sewn it before and has some challenges or have some tips on how to avoid some of those challenges, please share them. Again, I love this community. I thank you guys for watching my video, and if this is your first time watching my video, I do thank you for tuning in. If not, thank you for coming back. And again, just, you know, enjoy your journey. Whatever you're doing in your sewing journey, it is your journey. Make it yours, own it, and have fun with it. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. See you later. All right, bye.